Majogami isn't just Inti Create's 30th anniversary project, it's their brand new intellectual creation. In the beginning, I had many doubts since how the Steam Next Fest demo itself left me with pretty mixed impression. So many of the settings were locked for no good reason. You couldn't remap the controls to your liking, which leave the game feeling pretty awkward to play. Even with all of that, I still wanted to personally give the full release a chance. Fast forward now, after completing the game, I'm honestly glad I did. Out of all the things, I was truthfully surprised how well Inti handled the story. Since Luminous Avenger IX2 and Gunvolt 3 story received many backlash, this time they actually put thought into the plot. However, there are some weird conversation moments that may appeal more to a certain audience than others. The story introduces you to a young woman named Shiroa who is trapped in this fever dream-like world where she lost all of her memories. She later meets a sheet of paper named Shirori who is apparently her dad and sidekick. They need to find a way to escape from this world. It has a pretty dark vibe going on. There is a twist to the tale where Shiroha needs to face a stark reality. As for the game visual and effects, they look stunning. However, there are some times where there is a bit of a mess and clutter during a boss fight where it gets hard to dodge certain attacks, but other than that, I'm pretty happy that they went with 2D live animation for their characters' models that resemble closer to the game cover art instead of 2D sprite like with many of their other past games. I honestly could see them take this art approach to their future games and try to find ways to improve where it's less jarring for the eyes during fights. The music is fine, it's mostly just uses piano tunes, which suits the game aesthetics and vibe. I personally like some of the Astral Transformation vocals duet that don't use piano. Helps you to keep motivated during a level while Shiroa is singing. The gameplay itself feels familiar and innovative. You control as Shiroa, who can dash and uses her katana sword to slash enemies, sort of like Kirin from Gunvolt 3 and Zero from Mega Man Zero, but that's where the similarity ends since she has her own unique Setsuna mechanic which allows her to lock on into enemies and dash onto them. The easiest way to describe it that it's sort of identical to Kopen from Luminous Avenger Anchor Nexus ability with Kirin's arc chain behavior mixed together. It's a hybrid in a way. You can also charge your Setsuna for enemies that have shield barrier. Some enemies can also throw projectiles, but you can counter them with a hidden skill that you can buy from the etc. shop. You are also limited to how many times you can perform Setsuna since you have a gauge with 3 slots that you need to fill by attacking enemies or bosses with your sword. You also have a shield, which is what Shirori is designed for, that you can use to protect yourself from smaller attacks. Once 3 projectiles hit you, that shield will easily break. Later you'll get those Ascension and Astral Transformation. The Ascension forms give you 1 or 2 extra slot in your gauge and you can jump twice. The Astral forms are the complete form which act as your Devil Trigger and give you infinite jump. You have 4 forms in total, each have their own purpose when and which level or bosses they are designed to be utilized. Some levels you can easily cheese through fairly quickly to get the best time, and each Astral also has a meter that you can fill to perform SP skill to kill the bosses quicker. The things I disliked were some of the level design choices and enemy placements, e.g. in Act 5 Scene 2. There were too many enemies on screen that felt almost impossible to dodge and you're forced to rely on health charm and items to make it through. It reminded me a bit of Mega Man X5/X6, but then again I was playing on hard mode, so setting the difficulty lower is probably might be best option. I was also not really a fan that you can't really deal damage to the bosses them with your sword, so you're mostly forced to rely on Setsuna, which makes the Craft Witches fight a bit too lengthy. I wish the Craft Witches had true desperation attack that you would dodge like in the Gunvolt games. Instead here it's all about timing a perfect stance to push their attack away by mashing the jump button. In the end, even with its flaws, the game has some potential. Hope to see a sequel even though it doesn't really need one. If you like fast-paced 2D games with good story writing, give this a try. I also recommend it for Mega Man and Gunvolt fans too.
白羽大丈夫か。
動け。
周囲に気をつけろ。白羽大丈夫か。さあ決まっていくぞ。よっしゃー。さあしろ。いけいけ。よっしゃー。さあ決まっていくぞ。周囲に気をつけろ。白羽大丈夫か。ゲージ不足だ。
Yeah.